did real quick, I'm sorry. Want to give you a video of the old beast running. So, uh, simple enough. If you want to steal my truck, it doesn't have any doors on it. Shit, I keep the keys in the ashtray. Uh, the other thing was starting with those. An electric lift pump makes a huge difference. I promise you guys. Be the best money spent. You electric lift pumps like to push, they don't like to pull. Get that thing as close to the gas tank as you can. Don't be putting it up front, or you will go through one every year and a half, every year to 2 year mark. You will go through an electric lift pump. That thing needs to be by the back. They push, they don't pull. With that, so here's old girl. Here's our cold weather button, so I can override it, but still pretty good light. I mean, even though she's a dog turd, I'm an AMSOIL dealer. Shit's maintained. There you go. So, in fact, I haven't started this for a month maybe, but there you go. Now the other thing is, I've been around these, and I've had enough of them, and I've had a glow plug go bad and this and that. When you do have the mechanical lift pump, because before this one time I experienced, so I'm going to shut her off so you can hear me talk. There we go. She's off. But I did have a lift pump go bad. And but it was kind of slow. It was over 3, 4, or 5 months. Just didn't feel like she was starting as good as she used to. And I'm like, well, it's not cold out, but it was close to the end of summer, and the days were colder. They weren't 70, they were 60, and this and that. So, oh gosh, is it the weather and this and that? And you worry about it, because at the time it's your baby if you're rocking one of these, and that's the best you can do. So, with that, it got to the point where if I hadn't jumped into it, if I hadn't drove it for 2 weeks or a month, first thing I would do not waste your battery waiting for that glow light and cranking. If you ain't sat in your truck for 2 weeks to a month, first thing I'd do, because I'm a 5-speed, I'd push the clutch in, I'd crank it for 10 seconds, because that's what you're supposed to do to save the starter. Crank. The only way you can re-prime the fuel system is to crank, because it's ran off the cam, the little lever. So boom, I'd crank 10 seconds, then I'd quick turn the key off, then I would let the glow plug cycle. Knowing I perfectly knew I was losing fuel prime, and that I didn't have a glow plug problem. So then, on the second go around, I'd let the glow plugs go. Alright, so then boom, alright, bam, she's back to normal. It's my lift pump. Then, come winter, I put the new pump on it, and I have a really old school diesel teacher, and so if I asked him a question, he'd write me a list. Go check these 10 things and come talk back to me before you'd help me. Kind of took me under his wing. So with that, you go on to then the weather got colder, so I went and talked to him. I'm like, I'm draining the battery by like 3 crank. Oh man, that's bad. What do I do? And he's like, he said it's kind of bad on Ford's part, but he said, have you noticed you can hear the click when your glow plug kicks in? Yeah? And I go, yeah. And he goes, okay. And then it runs for like 10 to 15 seconds and the light goes out. I go, yeah. And he says, okay. He said, did you hear your glow plug controller kick out? And I said, no. Okay, no. So then what? He's like, wait till you hear it clicking. Then your glow plugs are hot. They're ohming out. I heard one guy reference the glow plug controller as a timer. It's not a timer. It ohms out. And our system is flawed. It treats all 8 the same. If one goes bad, your wait to start light goes from 15 to 12. If 2 goes bad, it goes from 12 to 8 or 9. If 3 go bad, and then you keep ticking down. So if one plug's bad, it ohms the whole system out. Our controller detects ohming out. When you get up to operating temperature, it shuts down because the plugs are ohmed out. So that is how our controller works, is off of ohmage. So that's, while I got you on the horn, before I get into the glow plug thing and do those videos, do not be afraid. If you got the mechanical lift pump and you're in a really cold climate and you haven't drove it for weeks, spin the sucker. Do not waste your battery glowing those glow plugs, knowing your fuel prime. The mechanical lift pump, just after 2 weeks to a month, it doesn't quite hold prime. So go ahead, spin it for 10 seconds. That charges your fuel system. Then let the glow plug cycle, and then watch your light. And then further on than your light, that controller knows what it's doing. Even if you have really good compression and she pops at the 15, those glow plugs are still clicking and pulsing for maybe anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes until they ohm out totally if you have a good healthy system. So if it helps you start, and even though the wait to start light goes out, go ahead and give it a full, let it wait till it starts clicking. Then you know those suckers are beaming red, and crank her. It's not gonna hurt them. When I do the glow plug video, I'll throw one on a bench with the light, and I'll hook it up to a battery charger, and we'll make it glow red, and then I'll go make my video, and that thing will still be burning. So just an FYI. All right, thanks for your time, but sorry I got a little sidetracked. But today was supposed to be fuel and induction as far as getting rid of your soup bowl on that thing if you're rocking a naturally aspirated one and whatnot. So hopefully this helps somebody in some nice gentle terms, and it's stressful when it's yours. So you're at wit's end when you're on YouTube trying to diagnose your truck. So don't worry, we've all been there, and usually it's pretty simple. Worst case scenario, it's a pump. All right, thanks guys, bye.